Prince William shared a kiss with Meghan Markle as they arrived at Westminster Abbey, for a traditional Anzac Day service this afternoon. The father of three has returned to royal duties for the first time, since his wife the Duchess of Cambridge gave birth to their third child, on Monday. He was pictured warmly greeting his future sister-in-law with a kiss on the cheek, and a gentle pat on the back as they arrived, along with Prince Harry, for a service honouring Australia and New Zealand's fallen. Meeting a number of people in a line-up at the door of the Abbey, William could be heard joking with one man that he has a strong name, as the world waits for the palace to announce the name of the new royal baby. Asked how mother and baby is, William replied, "They're very well, thanks." He said they are in good form, luckily, and added, "Sleeping's going reasonably well so far, so he's behaving himself, which is good news." The Dean of Westminster paid tribute to the thousands of soldiers from Australia and New Zealand, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in the First World War, and subsequent conflicts. Earlier this morning, Meghan attended her first official service of remembrance, and watched on as her future husband laid wreaths near Wellington Arch, in central London. The American passed a cultural milestone when she and Harry were welcomed by Tatarati Waini, a member of the London Maori Club, with a traditional hongi, the soft pressing of noses and the sharing of each other's breath. Ms Waini, a New Zealander living in London, said about Meghan, "She was amazing. I'm not sure if it's her first time at a Maori ceremony, but she did very, very well. It was really lovely to meet her, and share the breath of life and share our culture with her and Harry." As the sun broke over the London skyline, Harry, a former army officer who served for 10 years in the forces, laid his floral wreath at one of a group of metal crosses near Wellington Arch, in central London. A handwritten note from the prince, attached to a wreath of red roses, read, "For all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in pursuit of our freedom. Thank you, Harry." Ms Markle may not yet be a member of the royal family, but she has attended a large number of official events in the run-up to her royal wedding on May 19th. There were other Maori elements during the dawn service, including a haka performed at the end, a longer version of the one displayed by the famous New Zealand rugby team the All Blacks before matches. Trevor Mallard, Speaker of the New Zealand House of Representatives, gave the address during the dawn service and told the Kiwis and Aussies, "Today we remember 100 years have passed since the final year of the First World War. We honor the service of those who came halfway around the world. Some with a deep conviction that they were fighting for king and empire, some fighting for peace and justice, others were young lads who saw an opportunity for adventure. None could have foreseen the hell on the front line and in the trenches." He added, "Today in thousands of communities throughout Australia and New Zealand, people have come together to acknowledge and pay tribute to those who left our shores, and particularly to commemorate those who gave their lives for our freedom." During the service, prayers were read by young school children, and the last post was sounded by a bugler, before a minute's silence was observed by all. After the service, Harry, Meghan and dignitaries walked the short distance to the Australian War Memorial, where the Prince laid another floral tribute. Anzac Day has been commemorated in London since the first anniversary of the Anzac landings at Gallipoli, in 1916, when King George V attended a service at Westminster Abbey, and more than 2,000 Australian and New Zealand troops marched through the streets. Since then, the services have become an important moment to recognise the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps who died during the landings. Anzac Day is commemorated as a public holiday in both countries, with memorial ceremonies held at various locations. The dawn service at Hyde Park Corner lasted 45 minutes. The service began at the New Zealand Memorial and included readings, the last post, silence, reveille and national anthems, before the couple moved to the granite Australian Memorial. Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson also laid a wreath to mark the wartime service of Britain's close allies Australia and New Zealand. Harry and Meghan were joined by the New Zealand and Australian High Commissioners, and both signed a book of remembrance. Later in the morning at the parade service at the Cenotaph, Prince Harry will lay a wreath on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. Between 300 and 400 participants will take part in the parade, including members of veterans associations, service and ex-service personnel and their families. Following this parade, he and Meghan will be joined by new Father Prince William, at the service of commemoration and thanksgiving at Westminster Abbey. This will be a traditional church service, incorporating an act of remembrance. The last post and Kemal Atatürk's words from Anzac read by the Turkish ambassador to the UK. At the conclusion of the main service in front of the New Zealand War Memorial, Harry and Meghan walked over to pay their respects to the Australian troops just the other side of Wellington Arch. The Australian War Memorial was dedicated, in 2003, to the 102,000 Australian dead of the First and Second World Wars. Harry took the lead, although glanced several times behind him to make sure his fiancée was following. The couple first went to sign a book of commemoration together, believed to the first time Miss Markle has done so. She then watched from the side as Harry laid a beautiful wreath at the base of the granite memorial with a handwritten card which read, "In loving memory of those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and the many whose lives were changed forever. Harry." He bowed and then waited for Miss Markle to join him, before they thanked their hosts and walked off to their waiting car, for the short drive back to Kensington Palace.